to work on a formal process for finding Tesla's next chief executive, according to people familiar. Tensions had been mounting at the company. Sales and profits were deteriorating rapidly. Musk was spending much of his time in Washington. Around that time, Tesla's board met with Musk for an update. Board members told him he needed to spend more time on Tesla, according to people familiar, and he needed to say so publicly. Musk did not push back. So he and Tesla, late last night, put out tweets saying this is all fake and this is all false, et cetera. Do you have those up in front of me? I have them up if you want me to.
All I have is his denial.
Okay, so he says it's an extremely bad breach of ethics that the Wall Street Journal would publish a deliberately false article failed to include an unequivocal denial beforehand by the Tesla board of directors. And he's quote tweeting Tesla, and this is all happening at like 1:30 in the morning, by the way, saying earlier today there was a media report erroneously claiming that the Tesla board had contacted recruitment firms to initiate a CEO search. This is absolutely false. There is a little bit of language word games going on here, though, because the Wall Street Journal report says that some board members reached out to these executive recruitment firms, whereas the denial says the Tesla board as a whole had not done that. So in any case, I mean, I believe the Wall Street Journal and not Elon Musk because he lies about everything.
Isn't the board, we looked this up one time months ago, the board is packed full of Elon sycophants.
Correct, yes.
So the fact that anybody on the board is in this mindset really speaks to there's a coup going on. There's a coup. They're trying to coup his ass.
His own brother is on that board. His brother's on the board. One of the like more liberal Murdoch, James Murdoch, is on the board. Like, it actually became an issue. I don't know. This is too in the weeds, but there was a lawsuit in Delaware over Elon's executive CEO compensation package. And one of the issues in that case was the fact that the board that granted him this package had no independence, because it was so closely tied. It's his brother, it's, you know, so it's a family member and it's all these like close associates. So, because we looked at this before when Tesla started to shit the bed with Elon being such a toxic figure of like, you know, how long before the board is like, we got to get rid of this guy. And we basically concluded that's unlikely to happen because they're all just there to be his sycophants. But apparently, even for them, it's gotten to a point. I also think Elon is kind of done with Tesla. And that is also, there's a little bit of that in this report as well, that he's tired of being the CEO of Tesla. He's been the CEO of Tesla for a long time. SpaceX is really, this is more my reading of some of the other reporting on him, that SpaceX is really where his passion is right now. He's just not that into Tesla. And, you know, so yeah, I think he's sort of unhappy there. The company is obviously been destroyed by his association with it and how toxic he is. The Cybertruck is maybe the biggest flop in like automotive history. Total and complete disaster. China has a vastly superior competitor in BYD that most of the world can avail themselves of. They're suffering also from the trade war is a problem for them too, which he has, you know, made clear, but had no influence really with Trump in order to get things changed there. So yeah, they're in a world of hurt.
It looks to me like he's just a con man and he's on to his next con because this one he got caught red-handed. You know what I'm saying?
Which one, the Doge or Tesla?
Well, I mean, both of them,
yeah.
Right? But Trump was saying Elon wants to go work on his cars now, so he's going to wrap it up in the government. And Elon was in there, oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so it looks to me like it basically like we hit a logical endpoint where his bullshit couldn't get him out of it anymore. Because as you know, Tesla sales have beyond imploded. I mean, we're talking, what, 71% decrease in profit?
In net income, yeah.
And that's with after they cooked the books. That's like, hey, this is the best number we can come up with when we play our tricky math game, right?
Yep.
And so I think he's just on to his next scam. The fact that his own people might be trying to force him out, very Game of Thronesy. That's a very Game of Thronesy thing, right? You think, oh, I got all the people around me who are good with me in power, et cetera. And then eventually they're like, this guy's got to go, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
this guy's killing us.
The whole thing is at stake. I mean, Tesla's only prayer is to get rid of him and completely basically rebrand, because Tesla owners in the U.S. are by and large like California affluent liberals. And then now you have this guy who's like the biggest Trump sycophant. And by the way, you know, like doing a Sig Heil and going and, you know, supporting the AfD in Germany and all of these things. Like, it was utterly predictable that the customer base would be like, no, especially at a time when they have other options.
why wouldn't he be cooked with anything he tries to do now? Because if you really think about how toxic his name is, this is the guy who's responsible for cutting 50% of the Social Security offices in this country, trying to make it collapse under its own weight. He slashed pediatric cancer research. Not only that, but the business community is not going to like him because he was involved with the Trump regime as they were doing tariffs, which are about to implode the global economy. They're all going to feel the pain from it. I sort of think that, yeah, he's going to try to do his next snake oil salesman bit, but I think he might hit a brick wall. I think he's worn out his welcome, not just in the government. I think among the business community, they're like, we don't want to work with this guy. This guy, he really outed himself as a total fucking dead-eyed psychopath. The way he tweets is like an unhinged schizophrenic, right? And so I don't know. I think he might be done in the long run, where he's never going to reach the same level of fame and success that he already did. Like, the bubble has burst with the idea of him as this misunderstood, eccentric genius. Now everybody looks at him like, this guy's a fucking idiot, and he ruins everything he touches.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that, because just like Trump, Elon really is a brand, right? And he had a lot of the country, a lot of the world, certainly the business community, snowed into believing he was this like incredible, once-in-a-century genius. And just with Doge, like, just look at Doge. Elon says we're going to cut $2 trillion. Then he says we're going to cut $1 trillion. Then he's like, we're going to cut $150 billion. Even that's a fucking lie. Government spending is actually up. Like, he's done a lot.
Also, all of it's illegal anyway.
Right. He's done. They don't care about that.
Yeah,
part.
They don't care about that part.
He's done a lot, but all of it incredibly damaging.
Right.
And none of it living up to, you know, efficiency or budget cutting. None of it. Like, by the metrics they set out, which were always bullshit, but by their metrics, total and complete failure. And when you look at that, and then he puts his name effectively on the ballot in that Supreme Court race, is thoroughly rebuked in that way as well. So is a political loser too. And if you watch that clip of the Trump meeting where he says, Elon, he's welcome to stay as long as he wants, but I think he wants to get back to his car companies. And everybody's giving him like a pity clap around the table.
With his like 7 hats on his head where he thinks he's acts like a toddler.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sad. Like, they all look like they feel bad for him at this point. That is so different from when he came in with all this swagger and he's lording over Trump in the Oval and he's lording over the cabinet meeting, and it's like it's his government and the news is following everything that he says and he does. And now he's having to kind of like quietly slink out of town, having completely failed. And with his electric car company, which is really his sort of signature brand, in the total toilet, and the board sneakily trying to replace him. Yeah, he bet big with Doge. And this is what he does. Like, he loves to double down. He loves to place the big bet. He's one of these that's not happy unless everything is all out there and on the line. And for, you know, in this instance, in many instances, those things have paid off for him in the past. In this instance, it was a total and complete failure. And there will certainly be consequences for that.
Yeah. Hey guys, we did an awesome interview with David Dole of the Rational National YouTube channel. We talked about the Canadian election and how Donald Trump was decisive in that election, making it so that the Liberals and Mark Carney ended up winning. You don't want to miss this. We go deep on Pierre Poilievre, who's the conservative, and Mark Carney, the liberal. So go ahead and sign up below on Substack and watch the whole thing.